Number 48 is Harbin's Dreamer, ridden by Nick Norris from Sparta, Tennessee.
And Ultra Shaker with Tiffany Wilhoit. We've seen her in here earlier tonight. And she's from Pikeville, Tennessee.
Hard Feelings is ridden by Nicole Phillips and owned by Wayne Wright of Philip, Tennessee, and that's number 600.
Touch of Magic has Abigail Glass up, trained by Randall Phillips and owned by Sherry Nida from Cookville, Crossville.
Kansas Claim to Fame is ridden by April Brooks, and that horse is owned by Dwight Huddleston of Lebanon, Tennessee, number 525.
And Painted Lady is ridden by Daniel Stout from Park Range, Tennessee.
Number 26 is Tornado's Gold Rush, ridden by Jill Poland of Glasgow, Kentucky.
And Shaker's Mr. Spot by Beck Oakley, and trained by Paul Oakley and owned by Paul, Lebanon, Tennessee.
Midnight Ride is ridden by Casey Givens, owned by Casey Givens of Westville, Tennessee, number 399.
Hickory's Delight, ridden by Cody Norris and owned by Cody Norris of Sparta, Tennessee.
And number 416 is Bay Jack Spirit, ridden by Natasha Stidham, trained by Arnold Bean, and owned by Mrs. Sue Rodnett of Pikeville, Tennessee.
It's Sue Robinette.
Yeah. I knew that.
Fine lady. Retired school teacher.
How about that?
Yeah. She normally shows.
She probably just loaned herself to riding the juvenile night.
And they've asked to go in the reverse, so you just saw Abigail Glass, I think, a minute ago.
64 Hickory's Delight, Cody Norris aboard from Sparta. 399, that's Katie Gibbons.
And you really see all kinds of, all styles of riding attire in this class.
Number 60, Shaker's Miss Spot, Beck Oakley, Lebanon riding for Paul Oakley.
Now, I'm really glad they are getting into the Western riding more.
Number 26, Jill Poland.
That's right, Brenda.
36, Pink Lady, Danielle Steph, Clark Range,
Now,
on the rider.
let's see, who's that?
32, Touch of Magic, Abigail Glass aboard. Sharon
Number
525. Kansas Claim to Fame, April Brooks.
Nicole Phillips riding for Wayne Wright of Cookville. And number 800 on the speaker is Stephanie Wilhoit.
And everybody up here is a little punchy, you know. We just saw Gary Maynard get goofing. What's he doing? Giving Drew a hard time?
I'll tell you what we've got to do. We've got to get Gary Maynard. He promised us that he was going to show us on TV all of these head signals.
That's right. That's the ring us for
So
guys.
we've got to get him over here to show us.
Yeah, that's the biggest hand signal. Drew just made little rabbit ears behind his head. And there you see this juvenile class. There, that is Nicole Phillips there.
Riding Hard Feelings. I believe she won first place Thursday night on this horse.
That's right.
She does a good job.
Well, Debbie and I mentioned this Thursday night. She's been riding also since she was just really little. I remember her coming in this competition years ago, and she was
Barely big enough to get a little leg.
just barely. And she always had a really big horse. I remember that too.
And of course, she's riding one of Wayne and Nelda's horses. And they just really cleaned house this week.
They've been real good.
The judge has already made his mind up. He's called for him to come in and line up again on the south side. And he's going to come over here and know who we've got, how we place this class. But I'm tired of him telling me I'm right.
I think he's just giving you a hard time.
Well, I think he is too, because he'll shake his head no, and then they'll call him out, and it'll be the same way we place it.
And they all did a nice job lining up there. 399 was the last one to come into the spot. That was Casey Givens. Didn't she win earlier or something?
Yes,
I believe she did.
she did. And you know, even though they only give 5 places, all of these kids are winners. They come in and they show their horse and they're all winners. It takes a lot of hard work for all these kids to do this.
Well, and you know, you think about it, it's already 11 o'clock at night.
Probably 3 hours past their bedtime already.
Well, some of them who are 17 probably would disagree with that, but still, just the fact that they're just not finished now. I mean, when they leave here, they still have a lot of work to do, right?
Round of applause, if you will, for Wayne Neighbors on the organ.
Yeah, big round of applause for Wayne Neighbors. What a great job he's done all night long. And he really is so impressive. Young people lined up there waiting for the judge to make his decision. This is live coverage of the 1995 Putnam County Fair. And if you tuned in, maybe you've been out of town for a week and are just getting back in, well, this is the final night of the fair. And there you see Wayne just really going to town. Wayne Neighbors, the organist here, but he'll be making his way probably around some of these other fairs. Sparta, the White County Fair, will be coming up Labor Day, isn't it? After Labor Day weekend, and then the 9th, I believe September 9th is their big horse show. So there'll be a lot of other events around you can still take part in. And in fact, make sure that you have an opportunity to get around and visit some of the neighboring county fairs. They do a tremendous job, and they have all the excitement of a county fair in their own hometown. So make sure that you get around, visit some of them, and enjoy the horse shows.
Excitement time in the ring. Because
we've got coming up next, we have the mule race. Mule race, no saddle. That should be fun.
you kind of like it, don't you?
Mule race, no saddle. That's our next entry. So if you're thinking about going to bed, don't go to bed yet.
Not yet. That's the crowd favorite.
Hey, you don't want to miss that. You definitely don't want to miss that. It's favorite. It's one of our favorites anyway. And of course, for every one of these first place entries, they get $50 prize money.
And a ribbon and a trophy.
And a ribbon and a trophy. So that's really, that's a decent show. And in fact, the last two classes, I guess, are the biggest ones. They'll receive a $75 first place.
Photographer tonight from Visual Image Photography, Dan Holman. And if you'd like to contact Dan about pictures from the night show, see him in the center of the ring.
Our ringmaster, Bill Ripito,
And he'll be happy
the show chairman, Gary Maynard, and the show secretary, Dean Wilmer. There is an entry fee, of course, for all of these horses participating in the show. But I guess one nice thing about, we talked about Thursday night, is the county show, they require an entry fee.
I did not know that till Thursday night. I'd have brought my horses.
I thought they always charged before, didn't you?
I thought they always did.
They did in the
But,
past.
well, now, Vic Gernto said that they didn't. I mean, because I called him and I said, well, how much is it for Max to enter the costume? He said they never charge
Well, that
for
may
the
be
county
true.
show.
Because when my daughter Brandy was showing, a few years back, I think she came home with like $218 prize money from the Putnam County Fair from the whole show.
Wow.
She retired that year.
We're going to turn it over to Drew Upvine.
Place award belongs to you when you ride in entry number 600, Nicole Phillips on hard slings. Entry on by Wayne Wright. Nicole Phillips is the rider. Getting first in the class. That second place award in the class second goes to entry number 800, Tiffany Wilhoit on Ultra Shaker. Entry on the Dr. Mrs. John L. Wilhoit, Pikeville. Third place award in class 18 goes to 525, April Brooks, Chance's Claim to Fame. She's riding for Dwight Huddleston, Lebanon. Fourth award, fourth to 632, A Touch of Magic. Abigail Glass, the rider. Sherry Newt, Crossville. Abigail Glass is fourth. And present the fifth award to 416, Natasha Stidham on Bayjack Spirit. To Sue Robinette, Pikeville on this entry. And you'll be doing well if you give everybody a big round of applause out there in that ring. Good show. Good class.
Now, don't go away, because coming up next is the big, exciting mule race with no saddle. We'll be back in just a moment.
Live coverage of the Open the World Horse Show is brought to you locally in part by McWilliams Realty and Auction World, selling the Upper Cumberland for 20 years. McWilliams features family and executive homes, such as this young 2-story brick with 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, located on 2.1 scenic acres, lovely Hillwood Estates. McWilliams Realty and Auction, located in Cookeville, all your real estate needs. Their goal is your satisfaction.
Live coverage of the County Fair on WCTV, Cookeville, Tennessee.
Out there on the track. We follow the circle around. You're going to come back and get around it. Number 8.
The mule race. Who's in this class?
Doyle Branham riding from Burkesville, Kentucky. Coy Flowers, Spencer, Tennessee on 65 Cadillac. 69
No, that's true. But it's kind of late, and they probably want to put those mules to bed.
Now, these guys are going to go around here so fast, I don't think there's any need to tell you what the numbers are.
No.
So we'll just tell you Doyle Branham is on Ann, Coy Flowers is on Cadillac. Charles Qualls, go ahead.
Go ahead. Charles Falls is on Chatter.
And Terry Hodges is on Lefty.
Danny Kennard on Jake.
Danny Vaughn on Roxy, and that's a guy to watch.
That's right. Stephen Wilson is on Coupe de Ville.
And Danny on Mag.
8 entries now.
Now, I was trying to think,
It's 3 trips around
who,
the
do you know who
race
won the other night?
for the challenge trophy given in honor to Mr. Robert Henry Vaughn.
No, and I meant to bring that paper. We kept up with all the winners.
That's right.
Riding for the
Now,
challenge trophy.
the challenge trophy, in memory of Miss Vaughn, who is Danny Vaughn's, I believe, grandfather, I think.
Did they just present that last year? I thought it was retired last year. So they must have just presented it.
I don't know.
When we line up now, the call
I
is
don't
given to
remember.
start. There'll be 3 laps around
I'll
the
go over
ring.
there and
Now
look
we're
at the trophy and see what it
taking the lead
says.
over.
And you know, when they're gone, they're gone. And, yeah, the judge is saying, I'm getting back. You need to get up here on this stage. And they have to stay on the outside of those barrels, but they don't always do that.
Now, the judge is supposed to stand down there by the barrel.
That's right. You remember that year that they knocked that guy down?
Oh, yeah.
And somebody told me later that all you said is, oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. I said, well, I didn't know. It was a little frightening.
Then it'll be through now.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a live wire out there. Now, who is that?
Mean to.
Well,
He
he looks like Moses, but I don't believe that's what his
got
name
a,
is.
he's got a Kentucky shirt on.
Well, now, you know,
89. That's
Dale-
Doyle Branham
from
from
Kentucky.
Burkesville.
He's gone.
Doyle's ready to go. He's got to slow Ann down and get Ann back in
Mule
play.
knows what he's supposed to do. It's just the others don't know.
Now look at this guy down here. He can't even get his mule to.
And on the line.
He's got one guy's completely off the mule. His mule's look,
Oh.
his mule's rearing up. Won't let him get on him. Gonna whack him.
You know, Becky, I bet that World Championship mule show
It's
would
something else.
Oh,
huh?
yeah. That'd be fun to go watch sometime.
We need to find out where it is. Now that's 65. That's Cadillac. That's Roy Flowers. From Spencer, Tennessee. Roy is from Spencer, or Coy is from Spencer.
If they don't get control
Oh, really?
that
Well, I'm
one
telling
mule,
you.
they're going to catch him along back about Burkesville in a few minutes.
But I believe who's giving him a good run for the money? Danny Vaughn's about to run over. Danny's had to pull in on the ring.
Oh, my. We lost the
We
cameraman.
just almost lost the camera.
But our man from Burkesville is still in the lead.
Dave Dowd down there.
Oh, Danny Vaughn just whooped him bad. Whooped him big time.
Whoop too.
Oh, but they got 2 laps on now. Wait a minute. These guys, these two are getting serious.
Now let's see. That's not Danny up in front though. See, Danny's right over. Danny's having trouble with his mule.
Okay.
Something happened with his mule early on. I'm telling you, that guy from Burkesville, Kentucky, though, and the one in the lead.
And I can't see his number.
they're in a neck-and-neck race.
They're the most serious about this I've ever seen here.
Oh, he just got overtaken. I can't believe it. He's so down at the wrong time.
How exciting.
Are they going to make him go into a second heat or something? Now, sometimes they do that. 80, who is that? 80, maybe Terry Hodges from Doyle. We're trying to see his number. I tell you, Dave Dow gets the Medal of Courage for hanging in there when things got tough. Danny Vaughn's mule was all of about 2 feet from the front of him in that camera. And Danny was doing all he could to pull him back. 72, Stephen Wilson from Sparta on Coupe de Ville. He was the one that was out in the lead with the gentleman from Burkesville, Doyle Branham.
We'll have the order finish in just a moment.
Wood Vaughn and his family here to present the challenge trophy. There's Danny Vaughn. There you see Doyle Branham from Burkesville, Kentucky. And
Well, this,
I know one thing, they stir up a lot of dust.
now, are they going to run again?
I'm not sure.
Getting the 15-2 and under walking.
The only way that little guy from Burkesville could get his mule to stop was to get off of him. I think when you get on that thing, he is gone.
He's got one speed, and it's fast.
Oh, no, they've tied it. It's over.
That's it. That's it. It's a done deal.
The judge said, ain't going to be any remake of that.
If they do that. I still can't believe I'd like to have a slow motion replay from Dave Dow's camera. Of Wicker standing out in the front of it, guarding it, trying to get that mule away. It was.
I thought Wicker was about gone.
It was rather frightening. And Danny was doing all he could to hold him back. Now watch. Here's what happened. Danny cut in. Something was happening now. Danny's in the white T-shirt. He's in the white T-shirt. He cuts in on the grass right here. And this is Dave Dow's camera that you're seeing this from, right here. And right here comes the mule. Oh, we may have switched to a different camera, so you didn't get to actually. I guess they didn't want to see if things come in slow motion. We're going to turn it over to Drew Hupine.
Given in honor of Mr. Robert Henry Vaughn, an avid supporter of the mule race and the Putnam County Fair. It's being presented by his grandson, Willard, great-grandson, Danny, and great-great-granddaughter, Mercedes Lane Vaughn, all presenting the awards in this class in honor of Mr. Robert Henry Vaughn, for whom the trophy is named. This is a challenge trophy, and that first place award in the class goes to entry number 72, Stephen Wilson with Coupe de Ville. He ran first. Stephen Wilson on Coupe de Ville. Stevens from Sparta. Second place to number 89, Doyle Branham, Burkesville, Kentucky, on Ann. Third goes to 69, Charles Qualls Rickman on Chatter. Fourth place goes to number 82, Terry Hodges, Doyle, Tennessee on Lefty. And the fifth award to 91, that's Denny Gentry on Mag, number 91 from Burkesville, Kentucky. Let's give all of these riders a big round of applause. Thank the riders for a lot of excitement always in the mule race.
Might look like a light fog has settled in, but that's actually we're in the midst of a dust bowl now.
They go so fast. And they were going so fast that the little guy from Burkesville, Kentucky, Doyle Brown, I thought he won. I'm not sure where the stopping point was, but
I wasn't either, but I know that he and, like we'd mentioned before, he and Stephen Wilson were neck and neck for a long time.
so apparently when Steve got to the finish line, he slowed his down. And,
Right.
And so the other little guy just kept going.
Well, we said his mule only had one speed. That was fast. So that was great. That was a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. And the Vaughn family, of course, very supportive of that. And Danny, we certainly appreciate you trying to get that mule and actually getting it under control so that it didn't trash our camera.
Just in the nick of time.
And Dave Dow and Whitaker, they're greatly thankful. I think Gary Maynard was down there, too, trying to prevent that. Coming up next, we have a 15 and 2 and under walking category. We've got 7 more classes in tonight's show, and that, of course, will end the 1995 Putnam County Fair. It's been a great 10 days, a really jam-packed 10 days. Of course, it's been a hot 10 days. The heat index has been in there, and we've had no rain. So it's made it kind of hot and dry.
This is the hottest fair that I can ever remember.
Yeah, it is for me, too.
And I believe, Becky, that that's one reason our attendance seems like has been down a little bit.
It's been good tonight, but tonight it's cool. Actually, right now, it's very pleasant. But, you know, it's hard when you come to a fair, and even after 9 o'clock, it's still like 90-something degrees. It does make it difficult, but people have been good to come out, and we appreciate all those who have supported the county fair, and we hope that if you didn't make it this year and you're at all able next year, that you'll come, because there's nothing like being here and supporting your county fair and enjoying all the festivities live in the arena and visiting all the agricultural exhibits and the exhibits in the women's building, things in the country store. There's all kinds of wonderful food here in all the booths, and there are several booths that put money back into the community. All the booths in the North Grandstand, of course, are businesses and nonprofit organizations who mean so much to the community, and it's an opportunity for you to experience that. So I really hope that if you were unable to get here next year, or this year, that you will definitely make plans for next year.
And, Becky, we've only got 2 entries in this class of 15-2 and under. And this is one of my favorite classes. I like showing this class.
Now, why is that?
Well, it's a little smaller horse. Not necessarily any easier to handle, but it's a smaller horse. More my size, yeah. You know, it's hard for these horses because they are smaller to compete against the taller horses, because their little legs just won't reach out as far. They can't.
Right.
Just not as long. But and this is a tough class because we got 2 good horses. Ebony's Pac-Man is ridden by Randy Young and trained by Harvey Young and Sparta, and owned by Jackie Bolden from Bone Cove, Tennessee.
That's what it looks like. Or Bone Cave.
Bone Cave, Tennessee. And Diamond's Blaze of Glory is ridden by Bobby Fan, number 22. And the judge is probably going to ask him to flat foot. And he's asked for him to canter. And I wish that, since this is a short class, we could take a look at Bill Ripito as he calls these signals out, because it's really interesting to see, and some of these riders will watch the ringmaster.
Oh, to know when to move into the next.
Yeah. And, of course, they know there's a system you go by. You come always in a ring in a flat-foot walk. You go to a running walk, go back to a flat foot, go to a canter, if you're going to canter in that class, back to a flat foot, reverse, and then you start over in the same thing again. But everything always goes back to a flat-foot walk with walking horses, or with Western, it goes back to a slow walk. So you always go back at the same speed, which is slow gait.
And they're going to reverse and go back into a walk. Turnage back with us. Brenda?
I've been touring the Midway.
Touring the Midway. You haven't been gone that long. But you didn't bring Debbie that funnel cake back, did you?
No, but while I was gone, these people eat blizzards.
I know, but we didn't.
How do we miss out? Where'd you get blizzards? They got blizzards.
Hadn't you been watching them? They've all been eating these blizzards out here. Oh, well, she's going to share with you, though. Isn't that sweet?
That's good. Thank you.
Our fairest of the fair, Angela Burton, is presenting the awards tonight.
And we're on the rail at a flat-foot walk. The judge is really studying. But it's really he's got two really good horses in here.
That's Randy Young. He's doing a good job riding that. And I always love the 15-2 and under. Those little horses do so good.
That's what Debbie was saying. She enjoys the smaller horses.
Bobby Fan. He's doing good.
Right walk now.
Bobby Fan on Diamond's Blaze of Glory, owned by Lloyd Wood and Hunter Plott of Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
That's, you know, that is such a pretty horse. I was sitting here telling Brenda, I'd love to have that.
You want
My
that
daddy
horse,
could buy
huh?
me that for my birthday, and I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't mind, would you? Well, now, let's see. Here we've got all these people wanting these horses. And I just want something.
Well, I tell you, and I think Brenda sees the same thing, and I think that's one reason it's kind of odd for the judge to let this class linger out as long as it is with just two horses in here. I think he's just simply enjoying watching the little black horse.
Well, now, Randy's
watching them both.
got a good horse, too. He's doing a real good job. He's got a good horse. I wouldn't care if my daddy bought me that horse.
But, yeah, Pac-Man's a great horse. This little black horse is just really consistent. He's got good head motion. His head just sets so pretty.
Walk now. Walk. Bring him in, let's line him up.
And they're going to line them up on the, I believe, north side of grandstand.
Two beautiful horses.
And both riders have done an excellent job. We've got about 6 more classes to go, I believe.
Just looking over the confirmation. He's taking as long judging two horses as he has them.
He really has.
11 and 12.
He really has.
That's been real odd because he's placed these classes so quick tonight. And so I really, you know, that's why I wonder if he was just enjoying watching the black, you know, watching them work out.
Maybe, but maybe you can ask him why he took so long.
What took so long to judge that, Judge?
Oh, look, the judge got a Dairy Queen blizzard.
Yeah,
that was kind of him.
His blizzard's going to melt.
Well,
No.
He's trying to be nice to us now and offer some. Now you see a lot of. Go looky there. The country store is still open, and
And it's still smelling
it's
good.
still and you know I know they still have a lot of great baked goods in there, and of course they do serve apple cider and lemonade and all kinds of great things there at the country store, as well as having all kinds of beautiful handwork and things that you can enjoy.
Presenting awards.
We're going to turn it over now to Drew Huffines for the winners.
To the fair, celebrating a birthday today. Big thank you to the Dairy Queen for some of the refreshments furnished in the center of the ring. In the 15-2 and under walking horses, your first place award in the class goes to entry number 22, Diamond's Blaze of Glory and Bobby Fan. Lloyd Wood and Hunter Plott of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Honors of this entry, Bobby Fan riding Diamond's Blaze of Glory to first. Same side or parked, if you will, rider. That second place award. Second goes to number 75, Ebony's Pac-Man and Randy Young aboard Jack Bolden, Bone Cave, Tennessee. Ebony's Pac-Man takes second, number 75.
No, they didn't know we were here.
Well,
We'll be back in just a moment with the style racking class.
tonight's live coverage of the Open to the World Horse Show is brought to you locally in part by McWilliams Realty and Auction World, selling the Upper Cumberland for 20 years. McWilliams features family and executive homes such as this young two-story brick with 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, located on 2.1 scenic acres in lovely Hillwood Estates. McWilliams Realty and Auction, located in Cookeville, for all your real estate needs. Their goal is your satisfaction.
And we're back with the style racking with built-up feet class. This is our 21st class. We've got a few more to go here. There you see it. Let's see, we've got quite a few in this category.
We got 10 in this category.
8 inches in the ring, 2 more.
That's a pretty one.
Oh, and there's a young rider. No, that's a young rider. Well, a lady rider.
Lady rider.
She's a young lady rider.
Yeah, young lady rider.
There you go. 211. That. Oh, Linda Thunderbird, sure.
Need one more
Linda
entry in the
did well in an
52
earlier
under
class
one more.
tonight.
Correction, make this style racking. Style racking. One more entry.
And
That's number 620 that we see there. And that is Sun's Top Goal with Teddy Turner. Now, Becky, you want to know what a roan was earlier? That's a roan with the white face.
oh, okay. Kind of a gray.
Well, they can be red roan, gray,
Oh, okay.
blue roan. That's more of a red roan.
Now, who do we have in this class?
In this class, let's see, we have James Pullen riding Powerful Wheel, number 305 from Jamestown, Tennessee.
And 140 on Cargo Copy is J.L. King of Lafayette, Tennessee.
Number 39 is
Caution Blue.
Caution Blue Magic with Quentin Guppy riding from Monterey, Tennessee.
Donald Pierce is up on Mark's Avenger, number 300. Donald is from Cookville.
149 Pride's Flair Chance, Jennifer Hudson on the rider.
Sun's Top Gold is ridden by Teddy Turner. Shane Callahan is the trainer, and Larry and Linda Thunderberg are the owners.
Linda Thunderberg is riding PT's Rocket, number 211.
Laddie Key is the rider, trainer, and Conclusive Threat, number 495.
Number 77 is Highway Robbery, ridden by Gary Bowman of Monterey, Tennessee.
And Cliff Linton is on Sundown Red for 40. Linton Stables of Oneida, Tennessee, the owner. So this is a big class, a lot of
Pretty racking horses.
pretty racking horses, and they have built-up feet. So does that mean that, I mean, is that something that's on them all the time?
They leave on them all the time through the show season. Now,
Okay.
during the winter, they may take them off if they're not working the horses. But in the show season, they leave the built-ups on their feet. We have some pretty good horses.
And the judges definitely looking them over there. You see Bill Ripatow, our ringmaster, and he's giving the signal to go into a style rack. You saw Bill make the hand motion up to Drew, and Drew knows what to call. The judge there is Dick Myers of Manchester, doing an excellent job tonight at Putnam County Show.
Who's your bay horse you like the
I
well?
like that.
Quentin Guppy.
Now, Quentin has the roan horse there, right? I always enjoy watching Quentin ride because he seems to be able to get a lot of speed out of his horse.
And he's at the Putnam County Fair every
He
year.
really is. He does a great job.
Reverse and walk.
We're on class number 21. We've only got 6 classes to go.
Yep. And that's it.
Then
How do you usually feel at the end of the fair? Besides tired.
besides tired, I miss it. I love the fair.
You know, it's funny because I can remember as a little girl, my parents, one of the things, because, you know, and probably when you were younger and I was younger, you came to the fair almost every night and you enjoyed what was happening in the arena and you looked at all the exhibits. And I can remember sitting here on Monday nights and my grandmother could not wait for them to finish the judging. Remember, they used to judge in the women's building and then they would open the women's building like at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And we would sit here and she would just watch that door. And I mean, the minute they opened, you know, we'd be in there looking at all the things to see who'd gotten a blue ribbon. And at the end of the fair, it was always a big deal. We would stop and say bye to the fair. You know, it was kind of neat when we did that.
But even coming in, don't you remember getting the feeling of seeing the giant Ferris wheel in your heart just start pounding because you're coming to the fair?
That's right. That's right.
And I don't think that feeling ever leaves some of them.
Well, it obviously hasn't left me or you or Debbie. Now, did you show horses when you were younger? Did you guys do that?
I wanted to, but I never got up the nerve. I was the oldest juvenile you'd ever seen there. I wanted to show, but I just never thought that I could do it until I was later on in life.
Well, it's good that you did it.
I love it. I was at the horse show so much, though, when I finally did get to show my first one, I'll never forget. Somebody come up to me and said, well, welcome back. It's good to see you back in the show ring, and I'd never been there.
They didn't know, huh?
They just saw me so much, they thought I'd been showing.
Yeah, and here they're lining up on the south side, and I tell you again, these racking horses, they come lining up to the gate at a fast pace.
We have one lady rider out of all 10. Oh, 2 lady riders.
2 lady riders, Linda Funderburk and Jennifer Hudson. And they made a great show.
They sure did. The auxiliary firemen have done a good job of keeping the track watered down.
They really have, and that's been important. I think the mules kicked it up quite a bit.
We could be covered in dust here.
Oh, yeah, if it weren't for that great water truck. Gets dusty enough. You know, she'll kill me for saying this, but Debbie left us to go buy some pies. And have you noticed that the doors are shut in the country store? She told them, okay, I'm coming in, shut the door.
She probably bought all the pies they had left.
That's right. I tried to give her some money, and she said, no, we won't buy over 25. Oh, no, it's too much fun. Now, guys, we do have some of this flower and onion nest. Of course, they'll say, well, we don't want it now. It's real nice and fresh. It's still sitting here, though, so if anybody wants any. And there is one blizzard that we haven't decided how we'll split it, so it's in here. If you want that, you can come and get it. And I'm afraid the onion's not as fresh, but it's still tasty. Now look, Debbie's coming back empty-handed. Empty-handed. They shut the door before she got there. We thought, of course, that they're gone. Debbie says everything's gone. Nothing's left. No fried pie. We're out of luck. And the judge is looking them over, and I think he's made his decision, has passed it off to the ringmaster, and the ringmaster is in the process of taking it over to Drew Hines, who will be announcing the winners in just a moment. Well, Debbie, we told everybody that we thought maybe that you'd walked over there and some shut the doors, I'm here. Because they have shut the doors, but there's nothing left, huh? Oh, she said they shut them after you left, but there was nothing in there, huh?
And I mean, those ladies just nice to take it to.
They were sweet to you, and
They'd known that.
they'd known you were wanting. They'd have saved us some pies if they'd known we were looking for them. Well, I'm sure they've had a big crowd tonight. There's been lots of people going in there, and that's great. I mean, because I've seen they've been selling hundreds of pies and cakes and brownies and everything all day long. There's our two lady riders, Linda Funderburk and Jennifer Hudson.
A little bit of fudge left.
A little bit of fudge.
And
yeah.
a little bit of banana nut bread. Miss Hardenhire had one butternut cake in there.
Oh, man.
It was a whole cake.
Well, there's three of us.
Drew Huffines would have got that cake the minute I carried it up.
We're going to turn it over to Drew.
140 J.L. King, Lafette on cargo copy. Present that second place award to 149 Pride Fair Chance and Jennifer Hudson Lafette, the honor rider. Your third place award, third to 211, PT's Rocket, Linda Funderburk, riding for Larry and Linda Funderburk. PT's Rocket, 211, third. That fourth award in the class, fourth goes to 620, Sons Top Gold, and Teddy Turner, the rider. Entry on by Larry and Linda Funderburk. Sons Top Gold is fourth. And that fifth award, number 77, Highway Robbery and Gary Bowman, Monterey, the honor rider.
Here you have the style racking class with built-up feet, and there's Gary Bowman right now of Monterey taking his fifth place award. That was a great class.
That was a good class. That was a really good class. And did you notice how the first place winner kept kind of waiting, and it looked like he was stalling when they were giving him his ribbon? It's real important to those first place winners that they get not themselves, but the horse posed just right for the photograph. And they want both ears pointed forward, and they want both hind feet together and the front feet together and stretched out. And they're not so concerned about what the ride looks like as they are the horse. And that certainly is a pretty horse.
It is a pretty horse.
The 3-year-old walking horse is coming to the ring next.
And coming up next is the 3-year-old walking horses. After that, we'll have 4-year-old specialty class, the plantation pleasure walking, amateurs on walking horses. And then the last two classes of the evening will be the speed racking and the walking horse stake class, any age, mare, stallion, or gelding. So that should be a good class.
We have 3 entries going to come in.
And here's a nice slow motion of this style racking class.
See how comfortably he sets the saddle, and he keeps his head and shoulders erect, his back straight. But I mean, he looks so comfortable, and that's the difference. Brenda and I were telling you about between the walking horses and the other kind of horses.
Any other kind of horse.
That's the truth. It is. Sorry, girls.
Now, a friend of mine has Arabian horses, and we went down and did a story with her. Kim Thomason has an Arabian farm here. Do you know Kim?
I know Kim.
And she does a competition called dressage.
Yes.
And it's really interesting.
It's really hard.
And it is extremely hard.
Yeah.
It'd be nice
that,
to...
Yolanda?
I haven't tried that. My horses aren't that athletic.
Well, and it takes a lot out of the rider, too. Margaret Martin at Circle K has been taking dressage for years.
Really?
and she goes to Murfreesboro, and it's really expensive, and then she's going to start teaching it. So I want to see about doing that with her because it's really an art.
Yeah, it is. It was fascinating to watch. Kim had a visiting teacher here, instructor from California, and it was really fascinating to watch the kinds of moves. It's almost like an Olympic kind of, well, it is an Olympic event.
It is.
So it's an interesting competition. Now, what are they looking for in this that's different? Are they looking basically for the same thing? It's just a different age horse, right?
These are the 3-year-olds. These are still your babies.
And they're not required to canter. And we're looking at Charlie Mayberry on a pretty bay horse. Son's Mr. Red.
Then we have Scott Beatty on nitroglycerin.
And that's my pick for that. That's a pretty horse.
And that's owned by Bill Ball of La Follette, Tennessee. And then who is we have?
Number 11 is Copy's Ebony Man, ridden by Alfred Jones, owned by Copy and Denny of Monticello, Kentucky. There we have Alfred Jones.
And 3 entries.
Already on the reverse.
Number 11 is Copy's Ebony Man, Alfred Jones riding for Copy and Denny.
He's giving his horse a rest.
Number 24, Nitroglycerin. Scott Beatty aboard.
See there how they're adjusting the curb chain.
Number 81, Thunder's Mr. Ed. Charles D. Mayberry.
It's Charles Mayberry, isn't it?
That's a pretty horse.
Charles goes every year.
Now, I'm sure if you walk behind these stands and near the barns, I can see like a huge semi back there. Do a lot of people, I mean, they'll bring more than one horse.
The semi that you're talking about, I asked them how many they brought tonight, and they brought 7.
7?
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. They're getting them ready just as fast as they can, one right after the other.
Wow.
And you know, when this show's over, we're through. But their work's really begun because they've got to drive all the way back to the river.
Right.
And then they've got to get the horses out, strip them down, clean their feet up, clean the horse up, and then put them in the stall. And it takes a while. I mean, you know, even when they back into the barn, I'd say they've got another hour. With 7 horses, they've got probably an hour and a half, 2 hours good work.
Well, before they even leave the fairgrounds tonight, they're going to have to cool these horses down, walk them around, wrap their feet back up, get their gear back in the truck. So they're still, after the show is over, they're still going to be here another hour. So it's going to be
A late night.
2:30 for those folks.
That's an impressive trailer, though.
We're looking at Scott Beatty as he's in, slows back down to a flat foot walk.
This is the most pleasant temperature I've felt in a week.
It feels good.
It's very pleasant out here right now.
The judge is doing a good job at judging these classes, getting through. It's just been a beautiful night.
It has been. And if you've missed Putnam County Fair, or at least you're looking for other fairs to go to, don't forget the White County Fair will be coming up Labor Day weekend, and running through September 9th will be their big horse show. So make your way over to Sparta and spend some time there. And I'm sure there are some other county fairs coming up soon. Wherever they are, make sure that you take part in them, because there's nothing like it. It's a great experience.
And Brenda and I are getting ready to go to Shelbyville.
Yeah, now what will, how many classes will they have?
I haven't looked this year.
I haven't either, but I'm sure it'll be over
10, let's see.
200.
Yeah.
About 250, maybe.
250
It
different
starts
classes?
Wednesday. They have classes all day starting 10 o'clock in the morning, go to the afternoon, and then start night classes at 7. So they have a lot of classes.
And it'll last from Wednesday to when? Like 3 days, 4 days?
Through Labor Day weekend.
Through Labor Day.
It's 10 days, right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, it's fun. Well, you went down one year.
I went with you before the celebration.
We went down on Wednesday. For security classes started. And watched them at the showgrounds. They were getting the barns ready. And but I don't think the show started yet.
No, it hadn't. We had some
Yeah.
interviews with, in fact, we went down and did a story on it. Some interviews with some people who work for the celebration who
former Janice Cass that was from Cookville, married Sonny Holt. We interviewed them at their barn.
Were the barns decorated when you went?
They're decorating them.
You should see that.
Yeah.
Those horses, they live in stables nicer than
It
my
must
home.
be one. But now, I mean, can anybody go there?
Sure, anybody can.
Let's turn it over to Drew Hines for the win.
Ward, you'll ride in on the same side there, parked. Entry number 24, Scott Beatty on nitroglycerin. Entry on the Bill Ball of Holly, Tennessee. 24 nitroglycerin, take first. Second place award goes to number 11, Copies Ebony Man. Alfred Jones up for Copy and Denny, Monticello, Kentucky. Copies Ebony Man, second. And that third place award to number 81, Charles D. Mayberry, riding Thunders, Mr. Red. Entry owned and ridden by Charles D. Mayberry, Cookville.
And there you have the, that was a 3-year-old walking horse class.
Congratulations, Scott Beatty, on nitroglycerin.
I like that name.
That was a great horse, though. That was a horse.
Now, we pulled the same trick the judge did. We placed our class the minute they walked in the gate.
No, you placed the class. I was sitting here trying to watch. But you're good, Sue.
Oh, no, we all did it together. Brenda sat here and shook her head.
Okay. Now, coming up next is a 4-year-old specialty class. So are these like the big guys we're going to see really?
It's the same horse we just saw, only they're a year older, and they're not going to be required to canter.
So they should, oh, they're not? Okay.
But they could have been asked. Ever who made up the class sheet just decided that this would be a no canter class, but 4-year-olds do canter.
Do you like to canter?
No. I have canter phobia.
Do you like it?
It's okay. It depends on the horse. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. It depends on the horse, though. And I like to canter the old-fashioned way, where you actually kick them on the shoulder and say canter and pull up on them. And now they've got this new way.
Which is what?
That a lot of trainers like, and where you point them into, it looks like you're going to ride them into the rail, and you call on them to canter, and so they just go into
You
it.
just ask them to
Yeah,
canter.
and that's harder for me.
I don't know.
So what the trainers like to do with me is tell me we're going to a specialty class, and this has happened different times, so you don't get this phobia built up that I can't do it, and then they call on you to canter, and you just do it.
I mean, you don't know when you're going in, you're going to be doing
Half the time, no.
Debbie, see, now I think
They do fun things to me,
they
though.
do. Look at now. Now we've got...
You should be with us.
We've got 6 entries in this. I think you need to go to a show with Debbie, and I'm going to come watch a video of it. I'm going to come watch it.
Well, we have a good time.
I know we would. I know we would. Now, in this class, we have Melvin McDonald is going to be riding Elganis Image. And Melvin, of course, is from Livingston, Tennessee. The owner is Joe Groom of Livingston and Jim Mankin of Georgia.
We have Scott Beatty back in this class on Pride's Favorite Hoosier, number 24. MC LaRue is riding Olada, number 31, from Jamestown, Tennessee.
And Joe's Nighthawk has Harold Young in the irons from Sparta, Tennessee.
Pride, what is that one?
Harasser
Is ridden by Greg Craven from Sparta, Tennessee, and he's number 231.
And Coins Camille with Arnold B. owned by Miss Sue Robinette from Pikeville.
You see, what you need is a name here like Big Nose Kate. Then you wouldn't have to, you wouldn't have to worry about how to say it.
And there's so many different ways to spell all these
That's
names.
right. That's right.
Debbie's judging her classes
She
now.
is. She's looking at him. And I always enjoy watching Melvin McDonald ride. There you see him right now. He does a great job.
Melvin does do a good job of riding.
And this is going to be a great class.
We just saw Joe Nighthawk with Harold Young. There's Harold.
And reverse. And one.
Now you see,
Greg Craven.
is that Greg Craven?
Greg Craven on Joe's prize. And I didn't know how to say that name.
I think it's Harasser, but I'm not sure.
Greg does his own training. He goes to school and does his thing after school.
Wow.
He works hard.
Well, that would take a lot of work.
It does take a lot of time. You eat a lot of late suppers, like 10:30.
10:30 suppers, huh?
Price Harasser, 231. Greg Craven's on the rider, Sparta. At 1023 coins coming
That's a nice little horse that Greg's riding there.
Sue Robinette, Pikeville.
But anyway, this elect me horse show chairman. He wants the job again one more year. We want him to have it because tonight we've had more horses here in this show ring than we have ever had. Well, since 1991, we've had 205 horses.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Tonight it's the Putnam County Fair. That's a big show.
Well, Gary gets the job for another year then, doesn't he?
He gets our vote for it
He
because
gets
that's
our
like our wonderful school board. I mean, a fair board.
There you go. Now, school board doesn't judge on, they're not going to judge on this horse show.
Why have I got school on my mind?
Well, because it just started. This starts on Monday.
Our fair board.
So the fair board will decide that. And Gary did a great job. And it's nice having it, like you mentioned before, having it a little bit early. Then people, they don't have to conflict with going to Showville.
But again, he's saying, elect me your horse show chairman. So we're putting a plug in
Is that
for
a
him.
paid political announcement there?
Well, I think this is all
Unpaid political.
yeah, I think this is all free gratis work, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And the judge has asked for him to come in and line up, and I didn't have my class tied yet.
It's probably a good thing. You'd had a hard time picking from these, Debbie.
Now, they're jockeying for spots, aren't they? I mean, they're still working.
They work the minute they come in to the minute they stop those horses in the lineup.
You know, Greg Craven's designed an unusual colored horse, and it's got stocking feet, a blaze face, and it's kind of a roan-colored horse. And you know, a lot of people would steer away from that. But, you know, it's a show horse.
It is
real
And you
striking.
can't, yeah. And the stocking feet, you seem to notice, it looks like they go more.
Uh-huh.
You know, just notice it.
Well, a lot of just the average people think the walking horse is either black or brown.
Right.
They see an unusual colored horse and they say, is that a walking horse?
You see N.C. LaRue from Jamestown. And Harold Young from Sparta. Scott Beatty from
Birdstown.
Birdstown.
And Greg Craven.
Mm-hmm.
Greg's
So-
from Sparta.
So we have a good class here. We have 4 more classes to go tonight. We have a plantation pleasure walking class, amateurs on walking horses, speed racking, and of course then the final class of the evening will be the big step class. We know it's midnight, but
Who cares?
who cares? Stay with us.
I
'cause
just
we've
looked
got
up in the grandstand and saw Ricky's asleep.
Is he? Well, that's good though. That's good that he's taking a little nap. Of course, he'll probably sleep the rest of the night. He's had a big night.
He had a big
He's
night.
been at the fair, been at the Midway, and he showed it in the lead line class, got that trophy. He did good.
He's proud of that trophy.
Well, and he ought to be. All those children, I'm sure, that'll be a prized possession. I don't recall him giving out trophies for lead line before, so that was nice.
That was nice.
A lot of people do a lot of hard work on this fair, and as we mentioned before, a lot of it's volunteer. We appreciate everyone who's hard to put together a good fair. We're going to turn it over to Drew Huffines for the winner.
On the same side, your park riders. In the 4-year-old specialty class, class 23, your first place award to number 231, Greg Craven, Florida, riding Prize Harasser, 231, first. Your second place award to number 24, Scott Beatty on Pride's Favorite Hoosier. Entry on McWhorter, Albany, Kentucky. Scott Beatty riding Pride's Favorite Hoosier, 24 to second place. That third place award to 31, that's NC LaRue, Jamestown, on a rider on Oladi. That fourth place, number 6. Alleghany's Image, and it's Melvin McDonald up for Joe Groom of Livingston and Jim Mankin of Griffin, Georgia. Fifth award goes to 1023 Coins Camille Arnold Bean award for Ms. Sue Robinette of Pikeville.
And there you have the winners. Coming in first was Greg Cravens, and Debbie, you were right. That different horse caught the judge's eye.
It sure did. And I was just standing here listening, and the judge telling us that he raced the horse that Melvin McDonald was showing.
Really?
I think that's what he was saying. He raised the horse Melvin.
Okay, we'll be back in just a moment with a
He raised Melvin.
measure.
He raised Melvin.
Okay.
Oh.
We'll be back.
Tonight's live coverage of the Open to the World Horse Show is brought to you locally in part by McWilliams Realty and Auction World, selling the Upper Cumberland for 20 years. McWilliams features family and executive homes such as this young 2-story brick with 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, located on 2.1 scenic acres in lovely Hillwood Estates. McWilliams Realty and Auction, located in Cookeville, for all your real estate needs. Their goal is your satisfaction.
Nope. You're watching live coverage of the 1995 Putnam County Fair on WCTE-TV, Cookeville, Tennessee. And it's starting to wind down, but we still have a lot of great classes. We've got 4 more classes that we're entering the Plantation Pleasure Walking class right now. And they will be required to canter, won't they?
This is the ladies' specialty one.
Oh, it's a ladies' specialty class. Where is it?
This is Betty Bowman. She's riding Mark's Secret Lady, and she's the only one in the class.
Oh, this is one that wasn't on the original.
It must have been an added class, 23A.
So we're going to actually have 5 more classes then.
Probably won't take him too long to judge this one, since she's the only one there.
A ladies' specialty class.
Heavy men, you could have brought our horses and got
We
in on
sure
this
could
one.
have.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had to canter.
That's right. But look how she works with her horse, and see how he responds to the slightest rein and just a little bit of leg pressure.
On the river, you'll walk.
She's riding a very nice horse.
Really, she is. You know, when somebody's on a horse that good, the first thing I think of is, well, it's a shame there's not other horses in there so that the audience can see how good he really is.
Betty Bowman is from Crossville.
Oh, okay.
Mark McMo, Shelbyville. Debbie?
All right, now we're going to look at Bill Ripito in just a minute. He's going to tell the master of ceremonies with a hand signal that the judge wants them to change gate. And, see.
Of course, the judge is still watching. The judge in the dark pants there.
All right. And the judge is telling him to go down to a flat foot walk. It was just a real slight hand movement. And you just, with your arms down and your palms up, like you were going to do a push-up.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's a flat foot walk. And the judge is actually giving the signals quicker than Bill is.
It's sort of simultaneous.
I think
there.
the judges want to go home.
Yeah. He's got to get back to Manchester. I don't blame him.
Well, he looked over at Miss Bowen and he gave her a signal.
She knew that signal.
Well,
Well, now let's see. We've had an interesting question posed here. If someone, if the horse,
If the horse really messed up bad.
what would happen? Would they? Well, we've talked about this before. You're not guaranteed first,
No.
even though you're the
No,
only one in
you're
the
not.
class.
They usually do.
yeah, but I mean, he broke in the flat-foot walk, and it broke in the running walk, and just fell over dead. Didn't know they're not going to give it first.
We're turning it over to Drew Fine.
Award goes to in number 369, Mark's Secret Lady, Betty Bowman, the rider, and owner, Mark's Secret Lady, with Betty Bowman aboard.
There you see Betty Bowman of Crossville receiving her trophy, and from Angela Burton. Angela is, of course, our Fairs of the Fair.
And
for
today's
this
her
year.
birthday.
And today is her birthday, too, which is great. Happy birthday, Angela.
Well, she just looks like she's having so much fun.
She does. She's
Yeah.
she came up here, probably had been down and enjoying the Midway, maybe. Not necessarily in that dress, but there she is, very attractive young lady, and will represent us well at the State Fairs Affair competition. And coming up next is the Plantation Pleasure class, and we're going to have 4 entries in that, and you're going to see some same folks riding that you've seen earlier tonight. A lot of trainers riding. And there she goes for her Betty Bowman as her victory ride there. Good job. Coming in another gate are our competitors for our 24th class for the evening, the Plantation Pleasure Walking class. And they will have to canter in this, so Brenda, you wouldn't want to be in this
I
class.
wouldn't want to be in this one. I can canter. I just don't like it.
Well, it's just one of those things that you get that knot in your stomach. And
You do. And you can get so knotted up about it.
You do.
And I'm sure the horse knows that.
You can't do, oh yeah, yeah. Because the way you tell a horse how to do anything is by your touch. And so if you tense up, then your legs are tense, and he feels he feels all that, and that's how they take your command.
See how still her hands are as she's riding the horse, and if your hands are shaking, that horse don't know what you want it to do.
Now, surely you haven't been riding a horse and been shaking, have you?
I have ridden a horse, and my legs were aching so bad, he thought I was spurring him.
I've done that right out here.
Who do we have in this class?
Well, that's Arnold Bean we're looking at on Ebby's Super Image, owned by Mrs. Louise Hollingsworth from Sparta.
And there in the back, you see Tommy Bandy on Sunshine LT, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Tommy Bandy of Allgood.
And Randall Phillips is up on My Magic Choice. These are carbon copies we're looking at. Some of them didn't come through good. But that's Randall's horse.
And there is Steve Denton on Lynn's Fancy Stuff, and that is owned by the Denton family of Cookman, Tennessee. Tommy's doing a good job there, riding his little Plantation Pleasure mare.
Entries in here.
Arnold Bean's looking around to see if he can where that judge is standing.
You know, we talked about that the other night. Most judges absolutely don't like for you to do that.
That's right. You're supposed to be concentrating on what your horse is doing, not what the judge is doing.
I I've had judges say if I catch somebody doing that, I absolutely won't tie them.
Oh, really? Now here they've asked to go into the canter.
Plantation Pleasure, number 4.
They make it look so easy.
Tommy Bendy is the rider and owner. Mrs. Tommy Bendy is the owner. Number 77, Society Cut, Riddle Phillips, the board.
That's Arnold Bean.
Still the owner of the entry. 296, Lynn Smith.
I'm not sure who that is.
We don't have her on
No.
the sheet. That sparkling generator is the horse, but I'm not sure who the rider is.
Louise Hollingsworth, Sparta. 399 is Sparkling Generator. That's Casey Gibbons in the saddle.
Casey?
Casey Gibbons.
Okay. We've seen her a couple of times. This team doing a great job.
You know, the judge told us a while ago that light shod plantation, light shod pleasure class that was in here was probably the hardest class he had judged all night.
Oh, really?
Because the top 4 horses, there was just a hair's difference between each one. And they were so close to being all just the same and so good.
Did you ask him why he chose the first place over the second place?
No, he seemed like he had struggled and labored over it so much.
You didn't want to ask?
I didn't want to put him on the spot.
Well, that's what I would do. I'd agonize. I'd agonize for days and then still feel guilt.
Well, I can tell he was really thinking about it. He said it was the hardest class he judged all night.
I have seen judges choose first place over when they were having a hard time like that, simply because one maybe might point his ears forward.
Yes.
More, yes.
And you're getting
It
back
came
to
right down to
confirmation. And confirmation is supposed to count for like 25%.
So if it's really, really close, then they'll find something like that that'll just push it over the edge.
And we have a good class in here right
We
now,
do
so
have
we may be having a hard time deciding.
A lot of excellent riders.
Casey Gibbons.
And all of these riders are basically young.
Young.
Too old.
No, they're young riders. That's right.
Last in the canter for you, please.
And several of them, I guess, train their own horses, right?
Most of them do. In fact, in this class, it looks like all of them are trained at home by themselves. You know, it's not that expensive a sport to get into, you know, and it's a good family sport.
Right.
Brenda's a good example of that. You know, she and David are into it. Brandy, now Ricky. And I mean, the whole family's enjoyed this.
The whole family has to be involved in it because that's what you do all week and all weekend.
Well, it would make it difficult if you didn't as a family, because then you would be split as far as
That's right.
where you will go and what you do. And I know the Gert family, we talked about that Thursday night, they're very involved as a family and all show and all help share the responsibilities of the animals.
They train their own horses at home. And we were talking about Danielle winning colt last year. Well, now Victor's going to win one this year. He's going to be presented with a colt for the versatility championship that High Points that he won at the celebration on the 31st of this year.
Really?
Daniel was the first out of 24 winners. Daniel was the first one from Tennessee to have ever won that award.
I remember that.
And now Victor's coming up,
You're going to do the same.
and out of the same family.
And I think Danielle is trying to complete the same award to receive the same award with a second horse before she is the age 18. Isn't that right?
Yes.
She has a second horse that she's training on, and I guess you can only get, and once you have to get so many points with that horse, and so she's trying the second award before, but she's running, you know, she's really getting really close to being at 18.
But she's halfway there.
She's halfway there. That's
halfway
right.
there.
And she's a determined young lady and a great person, so she'll.
Now, how many points do they have to get for this?
I think it's 50.
I'm not
They
sure.
have to get 50 points, and they get it in every event. The events when they're tied, like you have to have 4 horses in a class before it'll even count. If you drive to Mississippi and there's only 2 horses in the class, you don't get any credit for it.
It really is amazing. And she said no one has ever done it with 2 horses. And so that's why she's trying to receive the same award with 2 horses, 2 different horses. We do want to... Now, Wayne Neighbors is over here. Now, this isn't a bull show.
They have that body piercing down in the midway, and he's been down there. That's why we've not had any music.
We're going to turn it over to Drew Huffine for the winners.
Shirley Mackey would love that.
7, Randall Phillips on Society Cut. The entry on by Phillips and Phillips Cookville. Society Cut, 77 gets first. Second award in the class, second to 1020 Thieves, Super Image, and Arnold Bean aboard. This entry on by Mrs. Louise Hollingsworth, Sparta. Third award to 399 Sparkling Generator and Casey Givens on a rider from Westall, Tennessee. Fourth to 296 Lynn's Fancy Stuff and Steve Denton riding for the Denton family, Cookville. Lynn's Fancy Stuff, 296 fourth. And the fifth award, fifth, goes to Sunshine XLT and Tommy Bandy, up for Mrs. Tommy Bandy. All good. Sunshine XLT is fifth.
And that's the end of that class. We've got Wayne Neighbors over here, Cousin Wayne, being an absolute maniac. Have you just gone crazy?
Well, what happens is...
Yeah. He's talking on...
Yeah. For about 12:30, which is getting real close to it. When you've been out here since I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning, so we're going on, what's that, 16 hours? See, everything just gets real funny after a while. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah, you haven't...
I left my makeshift jewelry in, but...
Where is it?
Wait, hold on.
Did you get rid of it?
No, he's going to get it.
He's going to put it back on. This was the body piercing we were talking about. Now, you've probably seen a oh, here he is.
Yes, yes.
Now, did you make those up yourself?
I made these up myself, courtesy of... Well, shucks.
How many Coca-Cola bottles have you put up to?
Ooh, gosh, here. Hi, Mom. It's your son.
Wait a minute. Do one in the nose.
There's your, see?
Oh, mercy.
It's getting too
Well,
late.
I'll tell you what, my hair still looks good.
Your hair does still look good. You almost broke your hair. Hey, now listen. I got to tell you all, there's been, you were talking about somebody taking pictures down here, how important it is to get a picture of your horse and get them just right. We've had a young man who's been here a couple of nights now for us from Visual Image Photography in Sparta, Dan Holman, and he's been busy all over this place, snapping away. But you have a lot of pictures of you and your horse, right?
We've got a few. Carry around in my billfold. People wanted to see my kid. All I had was me and my horse.
Well, like Chandler happy to know that he's moved the horse out of the billfold then.
Oh, he didn't for a long time.
Okay, coming up next is the amateur on walking horses 18 and over. They will be required to enter. There's the Penny Dyer. Penny is riding Premier Super Star, thank you. Owned by Mr. and Mrs. David Dyer and trained by Tony Kennedy.
And I'm not sure, but I think that might be Bill Baxter on Starlight Velvet. He's number 3 from Baxter, Tennessee. We also have in this class Randy Young riding Blaze Generator, number 75, owned by Margaret and William Hooter of Sparta, Tennessee.
Premier Superstar with Penny Dyer up, trained by Tony Kennedy and owned by Mr. and Mrs. Dyer.
Number 21 is Spirits Triple, ridden by Rod Slagle, trained by Arnold Bean, and owned by Mr. and Mrs. Charles Owen of Cookville, Tennessee.
Charles Crane.
Crane. These are crappies. We can see.
I know.
Live TV.
And number 19 is Rose Midnight with Ruth Tudor up. Larry Tudor is the trainer, and Larry and Ruth are the owners.
From 10 Mile, Tennessee. And there's, I believe that's Ruth right now. And you know, it's interesting. I don't think we've seen her tonight. So has she come to show in this one class?
Probably.
And has waited until almost 12:30? Wow. And that's amazing. Wayne talking about, you know, I don't think about that. I don't think about the fact that he's been here since 8 o'clock this morning because they had a horse show this morning. He played out.
It's been a long day for one.
We had a horse show earlier today, and as well as a mule show.
They did. They had a halter class, walk horse, and quarter horse from 9 to 10, and then
Right.
they had
The mule show.
the mule show.
Go to the ring walk. The run.
There's Ruth Tudor again. She's doing a good job.
Sure is. They've moved into another gate, haven't they? What are they doing now?
Running walk. There's Rob Slagle.
No, and they have to canter.
Well, no.
No?
They're not supposed to be cantering. Now they can canter.
Oh, he decided to canter a little early, huh? There's Benny Dyer.
You know, in this case, it was behind the judge. The judge never saw it.
Oh, okay. Now, are these horses older?
Number 3,
They seem to be doing this canter thing fairly easily.
Yeah, they are.
21 is
They're probably, most of these are probably 5 and older.
And 19 Roses Midnight, Ruth Tudor, Larry and Ruth Tudor, 10 Mile, Tennessee.
And you know, when you go in Shelbyville, or any of your larger shows, your amateur class, a lot of times will be the best class next to the stage.
Huh.
Because the amateurs are, you know, a lot of times they're buying these horses to show themselves. So they're buying a really good horse there. You know, they say the best place to get sick is at a show, a golf course or the lake, because there's always a doctor there.
That's true.
I remember that.
Remember that.
Have you ever been to a horse show ever? And is there a doctor in the grandstand? 5 come out of nowhere.
We have 3 more, no, 2 more classes, the speed racking and the walking horse stake. And now how many, I wonder, will be in that last class? Are we going to, well, quite a few are in the speed racking. Wow, only 2 in that last.
Unless we have late entries that we're unaware of.
Right, now I'm surprised though. I would think that a lot of people would do that. We've got a timeout on the,
He threw a shoe.
through a shoe.
The fair.
Okay, we've thrown a shoe. We've got 7 minutes.
Well, we haven't gotten to see the fair work all night, so.
We haven't got to see him work in a couple of years, really.
Yeah.
A farrier's Richard Carey. Not let him get that shoe on in 7 minutes.
I bet he can.
But
I
usually,
think the band just came off. The
is
shoe-
it on?
yeah,
Is the shoe still on?
She's still on. Band just came off.
And what's the band?
That helps. You can see him putting it on right there. That just helps hold the shoe on. He'll just strap it right
okay.
over the hoop. Those shoes are heavy. How much, Debbie, do they weigh?
And they've got limits on them now. They can't weigh over a certain amount. So everybody's shoe will weigh a different amount. You'll put the amount of lead in it or weight in it that horse can carry to perform the most. So, but I've forgotten what the maximum is that they can have in the shoe.
So he's putting the band on. Is he finished?
He's finished.
He works fast.
And see, they're supposed to keep with how much time he's had in, because he can have the time out,
Oh,
but he cannot use more than 7 minutes total.
I see. So it doesn't start 7 minutes every time you come up on.
Back in, we go back on the rail and we're walking.
He's gotten really punchy. Wayne's playing Christmas music now. He was trying to see if anybody was still awake. He's playing Christmas music. He's changed it.
We've got some really good horses in here.
First place will receive $50 and a trophy, in addition to that blue ribbon. There you see Tudor again.
In the right walk.
That's like Rod Slagle there. The whole Slagle family has just about shown tonight.
That's right.
That's Jeff and Rod and Joanna and Tyler, little bitty one.
And he did a great job. Well, they all did, really. Joanna did a great job. And there you see the Midway in the background, still going.
Now I love this song.
It's a good one.
Canada.
And they're going to go into the canter again. I believe, now who is this?
This is Randy Young.
Harvey Young, the trainer.
We're going to be on the movies.
Can't dance to that. I will start crying. My daddy used to play that song for me all the time and sing it just like Willie. Oh, yeah.
Now Gary Maynard trying to get you over there. Wayne wants to dance.
Two-step.
And we're coming up next will be the speed racking.
You know what I miss, Debbie, is the crowd not getting into the horse show like they used to.
Looks like they got into it pretty good tonight.
Lighting up the amateur.
But you're right, Brenda, that we're just not hearing the applause like we used to. And, you know, they're just not hanging in there with their favorite rider.
She can't dance to that. And let's see here.
We also have a whip that has been turned in.
Now, they turned in a whip, and now Wayne's coming over here to whip it. And Ralph wants that whip? No way. We're keeping this whip up here. It's probably one of those little kids who had that earlier.
It's Brenda's job to dance, my job to sing.
No, I think it was probably the other way around.
Your job to sing?
Yes.
Can't you play like something from Phantom of the Opera?
Yes.
Well, play that.
All I Ask of You.
All of it. Yeah, play that.
Oh, I like that.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Are you going to sing it?
That's it.
In the summertime. Ain't that right?
All right, we're going to be Wayne Neighbors. You are just punched out. And now Gary Maynard's on the organ. They're getting ready to judge this class. Or actually, they have judged the class. Drew Huffines is getting ready to announce the winners. And we hope that you will stay with us, even though it is getting absolutely crazy.
2 more classes.
You're watching live coverage of the Putnam County Fair, and that's why we have no control over what is going
I've been doing this
out.
for 14 years now. The first wildest night.
It's crazy. He's playing that clock thing. Oh, he thinks he's taking my job. He's taking my job. Gary Maynard over there.
Oh, wait a minute. We've lost the judge.
This is gone. Oh, they're going to play it. And now, here's Drew with the winners.
On the walking horses. And And the awards will be presented on the same side that you're parked, and that first place award belongs to you. You ride in number 19, Ruth Tudor, Rose's Midnight Run. From Larry Tudor, 10 Mile, Tennessee. Ruth Tudor riding to the blue. Second place award goes to entry number 75, Blazing Generator and Randy Young, for William and Margaret Hooten, Sparta, Tennessee. Third place, third goes to 242, Premium Superstar. Penny Dyer is the rider for Mr. and Mrs. David Dyer, Cookville. Fourth place to number 21, Spirits Triple, with Rod Schlegel riding. The entries on by Mr. and Mrs. Charles Crane, Cookville. And the fifth award, number 3, Starlight Velvet, Philip Baxter riding for H.G. Baxter, Christiana, Tennessee.
Okay, right after this, we'll be right back with class number 26, the speed racking class.
Tonight's live coverage of the Open to the World Horse Show is brought to you locally in part by McWilliams Realty and Auction World, selling the Upper Cumberland for 20 years. McWilliams features family and executive homes, such as this young 2-story brick with 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, located on 2.1 scenic acres in lovely Hillwood Estates. McWilliams Realty and Auction, located in Cookville, for all your real estate needs. Their goal is your satisfaction.
You're watching WCTE TV, Cookville, Tennessee. And this is the speed racking class. It's our next to the last class of the 1995 Putnam County Fair. People are ready to go. We've got a couple entries coming in. We've got quite a few in this class, actually. Coming in the class will be Quentin Guffey on Master Bocephus. Number 39. Quentin, of course, from Monterey. Kenneth Neely, also from Clark Range, Tennessee, will be riding Choice's Flashy Cut.
Number 64, we have K.Y. Bear with Donald Emerson from Waco, Kentucky. Phil Massengale is riding Magic, number 350, and he's from Bricktown, Tennessee. Number 77 is Strutting Stray Cat with Gary Bowman, owned by Brent Bowman of Monterey. Number 266 is Bowman Till Midnight, ridden by Kenny Price from Joy, Tennessee. And Intruder's Dark Lady, number 67, is ridden by Tommy Baldwin of Clark Range.
And Gary Bowen again, taking off and making a good show. He can put some speed in there.
And the thing to look for, Becky, consistency.
You know, the other night he made a good show, and he is moving. They're all moving. They're going to turn it on. There you see 250. Who is 250? Or maybe it's 350.
350, right Magic.
Look at him. He is flying.
He's back and he's going.
That's right.
And the crowd woke up.
And the crowd woke up. This is a good thing to have right now. There's Quentin Guffey on the screen. This is certainly a favorite event for everybody. They're gonna, whoa, he lost his hat there. Phil Massengale lost his hat.
The horse went right across it and didn't step on it.
This is an exciting.
I love the spotted horse.
I do too. 64, 60. I think that's Donald Emerson of Glasgow, Kentucky on K.Y. Bear, Kentucky Bear. And there's an
Now, unless they're pulling my leg. Again. But
It wasn't Wayne that told you
no,
that,
Wayne
was
didn't
it?
tell me this. But I kept looking at the little gray horse. I like the little gray horse probably better than anything in here. The other horse you got an eye on is fast. But this one is showier. It's right. It's
That's Kenneth Neely. Kenneth Neely is from Clark Range on the gray horse. Now the spotted horse, or the painted horse, is Donald Emerton from Glasgow.
All right, the show, let's go with speed.
all right. Now let's do a gray horse.
Move in for speed. The
Now
little
that-
gray horse is taking off.
And that is your world champion right there.
There you see him going
watch
right
him go. And he is moving.
Kenneth Neely from Clark Range, Tennessee. They're all moving right now. Here he comes.
And this little man just turned down $75,000 for that horse.
For that gray horse. There you see.
And see, I don't care how fast he goes, he's not going to break.
All right, that's it. Let's bring it down a little bit. Slow down.
I still like that spotted horse.
I know, that's a great horse. And that's Tommy, is that Tommy Baldwin? Who's on that? No, the spotted horse is from, or the painted horse is from Glasgow.
But did you see when they slowed down how smooth that gray horse went right back down to the lower speed? I mean, just real smooth.
That is Choice Flashy Cut. Kenneth Neely from Clark Range, Tennessee. What a great class this was, and what a perfect time at the end of the evening.
I love to watch these. Drew used to have a whistle. Had to get slow down. Do you remember that? He'd have to blow the whistle.
Just slow them down.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of the speed racket?
All right, we
All
like
right,
that
that was
speed
good.
wrecking class.
And it's always one of the favorites.
And they have quite a few entries, too. For it to be so late, they have quite a few entries.
7 entries.
And Wayne Neighbor's still plucking away over there. He's still Mr. Magic thing going to work.
He won't play camp down races.
Why not?
I don't.
Camp down races. Camp down races.
Tonight, the entire total of horses.
He's going to play camp down races for you.
205 horses will make the race throughout the final.
He's going to play as fast as he can. He can play anything. Wayne Neighbors. He wanted you to play it.
Yay, Wayne.
Way to go, Wayne.
Way to go.
Now we're... Now, Freebird.
Freebird.
Freebird. Excuse me. Well, this has been quite a night. We've had a great time, and we're going to have one more class to go, the state class. We only have 2 entries. This was an exciting class here. That's really got people going. And
Oh, no, the state class. You know what that means?
what?
The state class, we always wait for it. We can't wait till we see the state class. But then it's always so sad because when that class is over, that marks the end of Putnam County Fair.
That's right. That's over. We talked earlier about how hard it was to say bye to the fair when you were a little girl.
Were you a little girl?
Here for 10 days.
When you were a little girl, Wayne, did you get sad when the fair was over?
I sure did. It just galled me to have to take my dogs home. You know what I mean? In fact,
Boy.
I just don't have the words to explain to you just how much it did gall me. You know what I mean?
You've been out here 10 days.
I've been out here all 10 days. Yes.
What have you been doing?
Do sound set up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is the 3rd year I've been doing that.
So do you have to take a vacation leave?
No, not necessarily. I've taken a day or two, but it's, you know, it's
He works it in.
they work
Well,
it in.
but you know, Institutional has been real supportive of community
Very.
events, and
Yes.
so I'm sure that they probably wanted you to be out here
Oh, yeah.
doing things.
Sure they have.
Working.
Hey, you know, I just wanted to say...
Get down there
all these
next to that
folks-
mic.
oh, these folks at home that...
Don't mess up the hair.
Don't mess up the hair. though.
What the hey, it's 7 o'clock. You know what, for the last, this is my 14th year being here. Oh, you know, there were, hi. This is my 14th year of actually doing the fair, and it's a thrill. And I just want you all at home to give these folks a hand. These three girls right here. Do y'all hear that applause? Isn't that wonderful? Yes, thank you. This wouldn't be the same without these three girls right here.
No, wait a minute. We're going to go to Drew. Don't leave.
Don't leave.
Kenneth Neely, Clark Raines, the rider. The second place award, second place goes to number 67, Intruders, Dark Lady, Tommy Baldwin, Clark Raines, the owner rider. Third award, number 64, Kentucky Bear, Donald Emerson, Glasgow, Kentucky takes third in this class. That fourth award goes to entry number 77, Strutton Stray Cat, Gary Bowman aboard. The entry on the Brett Bowman, Monterey. And fifth award. Fifth award, 350, Wright's Magic, Bill Massengale, Birdstown is the owner rider.
And there you have the winners, and we're going to have an opportunity to see that first place winner take his victory ride in a moment, and that is Choice's Flashy Cut with Kenneth Neely up from Clark Range, Tennessee. He is the winning entry, and he's also a world champion.
What about that?
A world champion.
World champion.
We've been fortunate to have a lot of world champions here tonight.
You girls thought we were pulling your leg again.
I did. I wasn't real sure about that. We thought you'd been listening to Wayne. Wayne?
Mercy.
Yeah, what were those nice things you were saying about us?
Oh, yeah. Can we pick up where we left off? I was talking about these three girls right here, and they've been right here by the side of this, you know, cameras and calling all the shots, and they just do a wonderful job. And you folks at home just boy, I mean, you all have just had the top of the line right here tonight. You really have. And if you think Charlie had angels, Lord have mercy. Yeah, oh me.
I gotta get my feet up.
Getting deep in here.
Well, we really have to give a hats off to the folks who aren't on screen, to the people in the truck, on the cameras, and running the audio, and keeping the engineering going.
That's good. Because I know sometimes we talk about, and seriously, and Debbie will vouch for this, you know, you see these riders out here on the horses, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes. There's a lot of grooms and handlers and stuff back there that doesn't get a lot of thanks and praise, do they, Deb?
No.
And if it wasn't for them, these guys wouldn't be able to ride this stuff. Get them tails braced and the saddles on and ready. And it's just like this crew with 22. Not only is it you three out here doing the talking and the yakking and whatever, but it's these folks on the cameras. It's the folks back in the truck, back at the station. And 22 is great. We've heard a lot of comments this week about people who said, I can't go to the fair. It's too hot, you know, whatever. And or we're not able to get there. And they've sat at home and watched it, and you guys have been great.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
I think your horses are looking for some music. Play that Phantom of the Opera thing. All right, they're looking for Wayne to start up the music, but the horses are moving on their own, and we do appreciate those of you who have been watching, and we certainly appreciate all the folks behind the scenes here for 22 who have been making it happen. You'll see names on the credits, and when you do, I hope you know how much hard work has gone into the production and how much we appreciate them, how much we appreciate our volunteers, Brenda and Debbie and Wick Wicker, who's down there on camera, and Seth Gilpin, and Nelson Chansey, who's been here tonight, all the volunteers who have worked our booth all week long. We've had numerous people come in and help out to do that.
And this is the last class, the walking horse stake class. We have 2 entries tonight. Number 370 is Carlin Caballeros, ridden by Richard Lefevre, trained by Mac Muskie, owned by Mrs. Verbal Ragland of Rickman, Tennessee. Ebony's Fortune is ridden by Arnold Bean. The owner is David Pack family of Smithfield.
There, I believe, is Richard Lefevre, who we're seeing right now. Arnold Bean just took a pass in front of the judge. And Richard's working hard, and the judge is just now turning around to watch him.
Well, Arnold's definitely got him beating the canter.
We didn't get to see Arnold canter. On the screen, you saw him, you looked around and saw him.
Take my word for it.
All right, we'll take your word. We didn't get to see it, but
He had a longer, prettier, outreaching canter, and the little bay horse had kind of a short, choppy canter. But like Brenda said, they're going to put the impact, the weight of judging on the flat foot and running walk.
really,
Yeah, but it does count.
well, it might be one of those tiebreaker kind of things.
They're both doing a good job of showing their horses.
And we appreciate the folks who have stayed out here and till the end of the show to give these riders an audience.
Let's go to the run walk.
I think the crowd's coming alive after the feed racking class.
Yeah. Now the top prize in this category will be $75 for first place, $60 for second, and of course first place will also receive a trophy and a ribbon.
This is hard. I don't know how.
This is hard.
Yeah.
Some really good. Now we're seeing Arnold Canter there.
He has a prettier canter.
That's right. There you saw the judge looking the other way because he probably hadn't had an opportunity to see Richard Canter much. They're a little bit spread out, but he's going to bring them in and line them up. We're going to probably end the fair at about 1 o'clock, which isn't bad for 27 classes. Actually 28, because we had that
did
one.
a good job getting those
He
classes.
sure did. He sure did.
The Tennessee Waltz.
Of course.
Traditional state class music.
And nobody plays it better than Maine. He's doing a great job over there.
Well, Debbie, you're going to judge this class too?
I bet she's going to stay out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to stay out of this one because I saw things I liked in both horses. You know, so 1 minute one seemed like it was doing a little more than the other, and you look back at the other one, and no, it's doing just as much. So.
Officials who have worked with us tonight. Those in the show ring. Judge Myers, Manchester, working the walking classes.
And we're going to be
in the western classes. The
wrapping up tonight's coverage
Ringmaster Bill Ripito.
in just a few moments. We hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen here over the last 7 days. Actually, we hope you enjoy what you see on Channel 22 every day. And we encourage you to let us know. We're going to turn it over to Drew Huffine now.
Also Lisa Johnson and Amanda Hensley and Charles Crane. We thank all of those people, the horse show officials, the committee, C.D. Mayberry, Tommy Trisdell, Wayne Wright, Willard Bond, Ronnie Mayberry, Steve Denton, Randall Preston, Donald Jones, and Gary Maynard, the show chairman, show secretary, Dean Wilmer. We thank all of those people for their participation tonight, along with Dan Holm, the photographer. Presenting awards. Now, in the walking horse stake class, class number 27, the awards to be presented on the same side that you're parked in on. That first place award in the class goes to you. Number 1023, Ebony's Fortune. Arnold Bean riding for David Pack's family, Smithville, Tennessee. Second place award, second goes to 370, Carbon's Caballero, Richard Lefevre riding, entry on Mrs. Verbal Raglan Rickman. Carbon's Caballero with Richard Lefevre riding to skin. Let's give them both a big round of applause. In the walking horse stake class.
Arnold Bean coming in with a first place win, Richard Lefevre second. Certainly was a great opportunity, and probably Arnold will take that pass. I don't know if he may just leave. I'm not sure.
And one of the things the judge looked at in this and gave a lot of consideration to was part of it was the canter, and part of it was the running walk. He did see a lot of difference in the Lefevre horse going from a flat foot into a running walk, but when they called for the running walk with this horse, he could see him really pick up and move on. So, and that's what you're looking for. And of course, your stake horse is supposed to be the best of the best. So,
Arnold Bean on a horse owned by the David Hack family of Smithville.
Thanks to all of the exhibitors.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us all evening long. It's been a great opportunity for us to be here, and we hope that you enjoy this broadcast. Brenda, thank you, and Debbie, thank you. Anything you guys want to share before we leave?
good night, Mom.
It's been fun.
It has been fun, and thanks to all of you and to all the Channel 22 crew. We sure do appreciate you and love you. See you next year.
Good night. Bye-bye.